Welcome to Wednesday Wishes, where I show you what books made their way onto my wish list this week. The Flame of Surrender by Rhiannon Paille. This is book 1 in the Ferryman and the Flame series. This book was released November the 1st, 2011. The synopsis reads, "How far would you go to save everything you ever loved?" Khalil was warned about her love for the ferryman. One day he will marry the land and leave Avastar forever. She doesn't listen, and because of what she is, a flame, one of 9 apocalyptic weapons, she sparks a war. In a desperate attempt to save her home and her love, Khalil tries to awaken Avrid, not knowing she may have to make the ultimate sacrifice. The Uninvited by Liz Jensen. This book is coming out in hardback on January the 8th. It says a 7-year-old girl puts a nail gun to her grandmother's neck and fires. An isolated incident, say the experts. The experts are wrong. Across the world, children are killing their families. Is violence contagious? The Long Black Coffin by Curran. This book is coming out December the 18th by Dark Fuse. The synopsis reads, "The Long Black Coffin is a 67 GTO, a street eater and a life taker. Like an open grave, it's hungry for death. Vic Tamberlin committed suicide in it. His son Kurt asphyxiated in it. Maybe there's no connection, but Kirk's friend, Johnny Breed, doesn't believe it. He begins seeing dark connections, convinced that beneath the skin of the coffin there beats a black, terrible heart. But it's even worse than he can imagine. For the Long Black Coffin has a history, and that history will lead Johnny into a web of murder, insanity, and sexual perversion. He'll learn gruesome family secrets that connect a decade-old series of child abductions to a primordial evil that lives on in the car in the form of a sadistic teenage girl. A girl whose mother was human, but whose father was anything but." So I'm really looking forward to this. It sounds a whole lot like Christine. A Demon Lies Within by Tony Hubbard. This book is coming out November the 13th from Two Harbors Press. The synopsis says, "The powers of hell that lie within are very real. Following his murder, Andrew McMurray finds himself transported to the depths of hell. There he is indoctrinated as an apprentice to a demon master, Sonilian. Exposing Andrew to the dark reaches of his evil powers, Sonilian demonstrates a demon's ability to possess, torment, and control the thoughts and actions of the living. Andrew's ultimate goal, following his apprenticeship, revenge on his wife, Caitlin, and young son Joshua, both of whom he holds responsible for his murder." Remember Why You Fear Me, the best dark fiction of Robert Shearman. This is short stories. It came out October the 3rd. The synopsis on Goodreads says, "A woman rejects her husband's heart and gives it back to him still beating in a plastic box. A little boy betrays his father to the harsh mercies of Santa Claus. A widower suspects his dead wife's face is growing over his own. A man goes to hell and finds he's roommate to the ghost of Hitler's pet dog. Giant spiders, killer angels, ghost cat photography, and the haunted house right at the center of the Garden of Eden." Every House is Haunted by Ian Rogers. This book comes out October the 17th. It says, "There are haunted places in the world, all existing in reality, and every bit as tangible and accessible as the house next door. Sometimes it is the house next door." In this brilliant debut collection, Ian Rogers explores the border places between our world and the dark reaches of the supernatural. The landscape of death becomes the new frontier for scientific exploration. A honeymoon cabin with an unspeakable appetite finally meets its match. A suburban home is transformed into the hunting ground for a new breed of spider. A nightmarish jazz club at the crossroads of reality plays host to those who can break a deal with the devil for a price. With remarkable deftness, Rogers draws together the disturbing and the diverting in 22 showcase stories that will guide you through terrain at once familiar, startlingly fresh. The Madness Underneath by Maureen Johnson. This is the Shades of London Book 2, and it's coming out February the 26th. The synopsis reads, "After her near-fatal run-in with the Jack the Ripper copycat, Rory Devereaux has been living in Bristol under the close watch of her parents. So when her therapist suddenly suggests she return to Wexford, Rory jumps at the chance. But Rory's brush with the Ripper touched her more than she thought possible. She's become a human terminus, with the power to eliminate ghosts on contact. She soon finds out that the Shades, the city's secret ghost-fighting police, are responsible for her return. The Ripper may be gone, but now there's a string of new, inexplicable deaths threatening London. Roy has evidence that the deaths are no coincidence. Something much more sinister is going on, and now she must convince the squad to listen to her before it's too late. Broken by A.E. Rought. This book is coming out January the 8th. The synopsis reads, imagine a modern spin on Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, where a young couple's undying love and the grief of a father pushed beyond sanity can spell the destruction of them all. A string of suspicious deaths near a small Michigan town ends with the fall that claims the life of Emma Gentry's boyfriend, Daniel. Emma is broken, a hollow shell, mechanically moving through her days. She and Daniel had been made for each other, complete only when they were together. Now she restlessly wanders the town in the late fall gloom, haunting the cemetery and its white marbled tombs, feeling Daniel everywhere, his spectre in the moonlight and the fog. When she encounters newcomer Alex Franks, only son of renowned widowed surgeon, she's intrigued despite herself. He's an enigma, melting into shadows, preferring to keep to himself, but he is drawn to her as she is to him. He is strangely familiar. From the way he knows how to open her locker when it sticks, to the nickname she shared only with Daniel, even his hazel eyes with brown flecks are just like Daniel's. The closer they become, though, the more something inside her screams there's something very wrong with Alex Franks. And when Emma stumbles across a grotesque and terrifying menagerie of mangled but living animals within the walls of the Franks' estate, creatures she surely knows must have died from their injuries. She knows. The Dead of Winter by Lee Collins. This book is coming out October 30th. It's the first book in the Cora Oglesby series. It's listed as dark fantasy. The synopsis reads, Cora and her husband hunt things that shouldn't exist. When the marshal of Leadville, Colorado, comes across a pair of mysterious deaths, he turns to Cora to find the creature responsible. But if Cora is to overcome the unnatural tide threatening to consume the small town, she must first confront her own tragic past as well as her present. Splintered by A.G. Hubbard. This book is coming out January the 1st. The synopsis reads, this stunning debut captures the grotesque madness of a mystical underland as well as a girl's pangs of first love and independence. Alyssa Gardner hears the whispers of bugs and flowers, precisely the affliction that landed her mother in a mental hospital years before. This family curse stretches back to her ancestor Alice Liddell, the real-life inspiration for Lewis Carroll's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Alyssa might be crazy, but she manages to keep it together. For now. When her mother's mental health takes a turn for the worse, Alyssa learns that what she thought was fiction is based on terrifying reality. The real Wonderland is a place far darker and more twisted than Lewis Carroll ever let on. There, Alyssa must pass a series of tests, including draining an ocean of Alice's tears, waking the slumbering tea party, and subduing a vicious Bandersnatch to fix Alice's mistakes and save her family. She must also decide whom to trust, Jeb, her gorgeous best friend and secret crush, or the sexy but suspicious Morpheus, her guide through Wonderland, who may have dark motives of his own. Vessel by Sarah Beth Durst. This book came out September the 11th. The synopsis reads, in a desert world of sandstorms and sandwolves, a teen girl must defy the gods to save her tribe in this mystical, atmospheric tale from the author of Drink, Slay, Love. Liana has trained her entire life to be the vessel of a goddess. The goddess will inhabit Liana's body and use magic to bring rain to the desert. But Liana's goddess never comes. Abandoned by her angry tribe, Liana expects to die in the desert, until a boy walks out of the dust in search of her. Corbin is a god inside his vessel, and a trickster god at that. He tells Liana that 5 other gods are missing, and they set off across the desert in search of other vessels, for the desert tribes cannot survive without the magic of their gods. But the journey is dangerous, even with the gods' help, and not everyone is willing to believe the trickster god's tale. The closer she grows to Corbin, the less Liana wants to disappear to make way for her goddess. But she has no choice. She must die for her tribe to live. Unless a trickster god can help her to trick fate, or a human girl can muster some magic of her own. Alright, you guys, that's it for me this week. I hope you you know, found some books that maybe you hadn't heard of before and added some stuff to your wish list. If you do a wish list update post, just let me know down below. Feel free to do a video response or whatever. Yeah. Thanks for watching. See ya.